Hey, what's up, y'all? It's poppin'. It's D. About to react to this vid. It's titled, If You Can Choose Your Gender, Can You Choose Your Race? Okay, very interesting. Someone sent me this video, and looking at it, it looks like they're at UCLA. I see the UCLA poster in the background. And skimming through it, it seems that they are speaking to different college students who are educated. So, I want to hear what they have to say and what their opinion on this situation is. I do think it's really interesting how socially acceptable it is for people to change their gender, but not their race. It is heavily frowned upon, when you choose to change your race. Look what happened with Rachel Doja nigga. People were not happy with her saying that she was a black woman. But I mean, I do kind of understand that a bit more, because race relations it goes very deep, especially in America. Okay, so it kind of seems like you're making a mockery of that said race that you're trying to transition to. In the case of Rachel, it seemed like she was making a mockery, and she was trying to access benefits that she probably wouldn't have had access to if she just, showed up as her white self. Because I believe she was working with the NAACP or something like that. So it was just real trifling. Like, bitch, you trying to change your race so that you could, have this job and like really immerse yourself in this black culture. Like, it was just really like gross and disgusting. So I understand why people did not like that. But yeah, I still think it's interesting, because people will be quick to say that, oh, well, gender is a social construct, so it doesn't even matter. I mean, it's something that we socially made up. It's like, okay, well, so is race. Race is also a social construct. So why is it not as acceptable to change your race, as it is to change your gender? Like I said, I already explained the transitioning to black issue, but yeah, what if you are saying, hey, I am Asian and I want to be a white woman and this is how I'm living my life now, you will address me as such. Like, I don't see that being accepted anywhere. So it is interesting. But anyway, let's see what they have to say in this video. Let's watch.
What's up, guys? Aldo here with PragerU. Today I'm at UCLA to ask students about blackface and this new phenomenon of woman face. Why is it socially acceptable to be transgender but not transracial? Let's go find out. I want to show you a couple pictures of prominent figures rocking blackface and get your reaction to it. Is that all right?
I've never heard.
Very interesting. I did not. Okay.
This is Rachel Dolezal, who was a president of a chapter of NAACP, who identified as transracial. She said that she was born in the wrong body and that she identified as black. This is Ted Danson at the Friars Club Roast in New York City. This is Sarah Silverman in blackface.
This is very different, though. This is very different because, yeah, Rachel was actually trying to embody being a black woman. These people are clearly making a mockery. So, yes, there's a difference here.
TV show.
In these examples. But not the Rachel one, though. So I hope that they address the points that I made at the beginning of this video when talking about Rachel.
What do you think of when you see these images?
It's not good. It's really bad.
Do you think people can identify as a certain race?
No, I do not believe you can identify as a certain race.
So do you think identifying as a different race is offensive?
This is a very good question. I think, I don't know. You can't become something that is recognized off of skin color if you weren't that skin color your whole life.
Right, because it's biological.
Mm-hmm. He gonna flip that.
Do you think that people who claim transracial are making a mockery of real black people?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about woman face. Have you guys heard the term woman face?
No.
Have you heard this term? So this is men who identify as women, and then they benefit socially and financially from many cases. Do you guys know Dylan Mulvaney?
No.
So he transitioned, and after he transitioned to a woman, he has millions of dollars in brand deals.
Oh?
You have Leah Thomas, who has William Thomas, ranked very low on the swimmer
I made a whole video about this.
scoreboards. After transitioning, was number one
And I've talked about that, how I don't agree with this.
in the country.
It's supposed to be that you reap benefits for something you're not.
I think that is a completely different story. Being transgender is something where you can genuinely be born with different biological features or whatever, and that doesn't contribute to gender or like societal norms at all. I think those are two completely different things.
Is woman face offensive?
I don't think that's woman face. I think those are people who were born in the wrong bodies, who are becoming themselves.
So if you can identify with a different gender, why can't you identify with a different race?
The biological side of it, because race has no biological connections whatsoever. It's purely based off of physical appearances.
I just asked you if it was biological. You said yes.
Is recognized off of skin color.
She using buzzwords. See, this is what irritates me about this woke this woke era that we're in, because I feel like people come across a few articles and they are in a few Facebook groups maybe, and they just start to regurgitate shit that they have read over and over when they don't even have a full understanding of it, and it's really annoying to watch, and then they tend to contradict themselves a lot.
That's skin color your whole life.
Because it's biological.
Mm-hmm. Or I mean, sex has biological backings, but gender is not. Gender is a spectrum.
Why is it socially acceptable to be transgender, but it's not socially acceptable to be transracial?
I think that's like they're very different things. I think that like I don't know how to phrase this in a way, but I would say like is.
I wouldn't say I'm educated enough to have the proper definition of like separating the two.
But what about like how Rachel Dolezal, she said that she was born in the wrong body, that she really is black. Why is that any different than being born in the wrong body and being a woman or a man?
I don't know how to explain it, but I know that it is.
I feel like people, they have the freedom to do what they want.
I agree
with that. Is that an endorsement of transracialism? Do you see the
I agree. Like Rachel, she has the freedom to do what she wants, and we also are free to ridicule her and be like, bitch, fuck out of here. Get out of that position that clearly is made for someone black who can actually understand the black experience. You don't belong there. So, yes, you have the right to do whatever you like, but you cannot change our reaction to what you're doing and the spaces that you are trying to force yourself into. That's why I am a strong believer in trans people having their own spaces. I do get, I don't want to say annoyed, that's definitely a reach. I side-eye when I feel like the media especially tries to force trans women into female spaces. It's like they should have their own space, and I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. Just like Caitlyn Jenner, for example. I remember she was like named the Woman of the Year or something like that. I don't know the details of it, but I remember seeing something like that. I thought that was so bizarre. It's like, why not name her the Trans Woman of the Year? There are distinct differences. So that's when I kind of have an issue, and I'm just like, fuck out of here. Now you're doing too much. Is when I feel like, you know, the media tries to bunch trans women and women in the same category. It's like, no, because they don't do that when it's reversed. Like, there are so many very famous trans women. I can name a few off top. Like I just said, Caitlyn Jenner, fucking Laverne Cox, Kim Petras. I just reacted to her video over on Patreon. She get, you know, real popular, fucking got songs with, or a song with Nicki Minaj and whatnot. And I just don't see trans men getting those same benefits. I don't see men accepting them into their space. But with women, it's like, yeah, y'all go over there with women. Y'all are women. It's like, no. Women are humans that were born with a vagina, period. I don't give a fuck about the semantics that y'all want to argue. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. That's what the fuck it is. That's what it's always been until very recently, okay? And trans women are men who transition later in life. And I don't think there's anything wrong with making that distinction, but being like, oh, we're all women. No, women, you have to be born with a vagina to be a woman. And there's nothing wrong with stating that fucking fact. It's a fact. What are we talking about? You are a trans woman when you transition. Period. So that's the only issue I have. But otherwise, I think people should do whatever the fuck they want. Do what you want. Live your life how you want. Stand in your truth. I support it 1000%. But trying to force your way into certain spaces, that's when it's like, all right, fuck out of here. You're doing so much.
Hypocrisy here?
I do see the hypocrisy, but I don't think the hypocrisy is like, I'm not trying.
Is that the hypocrisy is socially accepted, and we are sheep as human beings. We are sheep living in this society, and we just go with the norms. Whatever we're told to do, that's what we do. Whatever we're told to accept, that's what we accept. If we are told that it's okay to walk around naked, that's what we all will be doing. And people who wear clothes, we'll be looking at them stupid. What the fuck is you doing? And it would be a whole discussion around that. Why are you even wearing clothes when we're told we should be naked? You know what I mean? So that's what the fuck it is. It is very hypocritical. I agree with him. But it's an acceptable hypocrisy.
How do I phrase this?
Maybe it's like, if I want to be a dragon, I can just be a dragon or something.
Yeah.
Why is it socially acceptable for people to identify as a different gender, but it's not socially acceptable for people to identify as a different race?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I hear a lot of people on this campus today that say the black face is wrong, but the woman face is totally acceptable. Why is there a double standard for race and gender?
That I don't know.
It's a double standard for a lot of things. Society's twisted.
I don't know either. Well, you guys, that is a wrap here at UCLA. Definitely an interesting one here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Next one. Can people identify with a different gender?
Can they identify as one?
Yeah.
Sure, they can identify as whatever they want.
They can identify as a carrot or a different gender or a different race.
We're a lizard.
Love it. So,
Yeah.
can I be a black broccoli?
Sure.
Black broccoli and
Black
orange
broccoli
carrot.
and carrot. Woohoo.
Be what the fuck you want. Stand in your truth. You can be a wizard. You can be whatever you like. But that does not make you exempt from being ridiculed by other people who have lived their entire lives with a certain ideology, and now you're trying to switch it up. There's just, you cannot control how people react to that. Now, I don't think that anyone should be hateful to anyone or discriminate against them or anything like that. And that's unfortunately what takes place. People do discriminate against trans people, and they do treat them very poorly, which I totally disagree with. But yeah, like I said, I don't agree with, you know, the media, because that's what it is. It's the media constantly trying to, you know, force trans women into female spaces and like organizations and shit, because I feel like the average everyday trans woman, she just wants to live her fucking life and mind her business and live in her truth. And I respect that and I support that. She don't give a fuck about these dumb debates we keep having. She don't care about none of this other stupid shit. It's just like, this is my life and I want to live my life how I want to, and you have every right to do that. But then, like I said, you have people who, you know, are like, well, trans women should be able to compete against, you know, women in sports. No, you shouldn't. I already talked about that. I made a video about that. And people's argument as far as that goes is like, oh, well, they're on hormone therapy, so their testosterone is suppressed. I'll link an article down below, actually, in the description. But, you know, there have been studies done that their testosterone is only minimally reduced. So they still have a great advantage physically over biological born women. So that is just not fair, and those are the fucking facts. It is what it is. Trans people should be performing in sports against other trans people. It's just these things are very simple. As far as the jail thing, I've had a whole conversation, you know, talking about that, or made a video talking about that. I think trans women should be in a jail with other trans women. But then it just becomes an issue because, you know, they don't want to do all that. They're like, look, nigga, you in jail. You gonna go where we put you. And it's like, that's also a valid claim because you broke the law. So this shit gets deep. I've already had many of these conversations over here. Interesting topic, though. Interesting how none of these people had a valid answer. And even the, you know, super woke chick who seems like she's, you know, involved in these type of discussions, and, you know, she knows the buzzwords and whatnot. Even she couldn't articulate herself properly and come up with a valid answer. So it's just very interesting. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.